back on Ice Time TV, and I'm delighted to say I've been joined by modern Devils legend Max Birbraer. And Max, this is an interview I've been looking forward to for a while because I know you're a good storyteller. So we'll try and see how many we can get out in the period break. And I guess the first one I want to start with is how does a guy from Kazakhstan with Jewish ancestry get into ice hockey, and you know where did that really start, and what was your junior progression?
Well, I guess the way I got into hockey, just as bizarre as the background you just described. So really, it's the Russian background in terms of playing hockey, and then that's where my foundation was really laid. And my family then decided to move to Israel because we had some Israeli background for better life, I suppose, from the old USSR. From there, I couldn't really play ice hockey in Israel at a very good level, so my family said, you know what, we'll give you a blessing to go to Canada to try on junior hockey. That's where I blossomed in decent hockey player. But I spent about 5 years playing professional there, and then ended up in this beautiful city of Cardiff and in this building, which pretty much gave me most of chunk of my career in hockey in general. So
before we touch on Cardiff, I remember being at a kind of a Devils Open night about 5 years ago, and you were talking, and I seem to remember there's a story about when you were with or got drafted by New Jersey or with New Jersey and Albany, and how you had to stay in the country and maybe hide out a little bit, and there was some story about obviously you might have been deported or something like that. What was the nature of that?
Well, there's always a roadblock sometimes where you have to overcome some hurdles. Army in Israel is a very sensitive issue, so they pretty much made me go to the army, and unfortunately I couldn't mentally deal with it. So 3 months down the road, they discharged me for basically declared me crazy, and sent me back and put me on the bus and said, we don't even want you if we want to be in the army, so never mind, keeping you here. So that's something that I had to do to then have a successful my last year in junior, eventually get drafted, and again be here. I wouldn't be here if I just stayed in the army for 3 years. I don't think I would just have packed it in.
Now you did come to Cardiff, and we're grateful for that. And that first season, I guess it must have been a bit of a culture shock. The rink wasn't built. It's this rink anyway, which we've grown to know and love, but maybe isn't the best facility in the country. But the first couple of months must have been tough because you guys were just on the road for the first maybe 3 months. But that season you came in with Mark Smith, not the defenseman, but the forward Mark Smith, and played on a line with Paul Sample, and probably with the best line in the league. And maybe should have won the league, probably should have won that playoff trophy with the playoff final defeat against Nottingham. But how was that first taste of Cardiff in this building, and being on the road for so long and getting so close to bringing home silverware?
Do you know what? I think it must have been an advantage of my road before to come into unknown, and sort of with the adversity, I guess I could handle it better than others because I didn't really care. A few years ago, I was in Israeli jail, probably not even thinking about hockey, and here I am, had a chance to play hockey. I didn't care we were practicing in Bristol or maybe even in Swansea. I didn't care, so maybe it was in my favor. So all I had, I just enjoyed my time. I had a great time with the fans. I had an instant connection with everybody, and that was part of it. When you're happy, I suppose you play happy, and now you produce more. And yeah, that year was special, and then a few years down the road, they're all special in a different way. But again, that's the part of why this permanent or not so permanent structure is magic.
I was going to ask, what is the Cardiff thing? Because we see it with a few people, and we're going to be interviewing Mark and Kenton Smith in the second period break, and they've looked to make their home in Cardiff as well. You came over that first year. You did have a year away, but you've made South Wales your home. What was the connection you had with the fans? What was the connection you had with this area that's just made this place special for you?
Well, it's for the same reason. If rugby fans come down here from France or Italy, everybody just love it, and I don't know what it is about it. Maybe it's just compact and friendly, and it's personal. It's not pretentious. It's real. That's how I would describe it. It's very similar to where I come from, so I suppose it made me feel like it's home. And after spending almost 10 years here, I can honestly say it's like my home. So I'm not planning to go anywhere. I got married and now having a kid, and absolutely happy to be here.
We should just say congratulations to Max and the family. You've got a little one on the way, I believe.
Yep, we got about 2 months to go, so I'm a bit nervous. it's kind of funny where you think you can get nervous in hockey and come out for that championship game, but when it comes to something like having a baby, it's a complete different level.
This is real life now.
This is real life. They finally got me.
Now, I would like to ask you more about the trophies you won in Cardiff, but unfortunately maybe there was a lot of heartache in your time in Cardiff. There were the Craig Weller year, of course, when the world record was set, but missed that, tied Sheffield on points, but missed out on the league trophy. Playoff finals, I remember that Belfast final when you scored the equalising goal with that slap shot, and but lost out on that one, lost another one to Nottingham. Just how heartbreaking was that? What would it have meant to lift the trophy for the Devils? And I guess it's weird asking you to pick a low point, but which of those really sort of hurt you the most?
Well, they're actually all low points because all of them is just it got to the point where it was tougher and tougher to take because it was so disappointing. But you're actually wrong. I did win a trophy.
The BK Cup, of
That's
course,
right.
the first season in Coventry. I apologise, Max, you did win a trophy.
So I'm still dwelling on that BK Cup, but that's my only sort of claim to fame in terms of trophies. But it's so unfortunate that we didn't. It's almost, I want to blame it on the luck, but there's got to be more reasons to that, I guess.
But that world record year, that must have been sold because you were on a line that year with Scott Matska and John Pellet. Again, probably the best line in the league. You guys were all in the top 10 of scoring, and the team as a whole with Finnerty and the rest of the guys I mentioned, Weller on the back end, Stevie Lyle was in net, and Stella. Just how good was that team?
It just doesn't get any closer than now. We had the perfect sort of scenario where we had guys who were tough, guys who were skilled. We had guys in every area, and I cannot believe that we didn't win the league. I'm still kind of complaining about it because I think they won on some sort of technicality to Sheffield. Still not happy about it, got to be honest with you.
I'm still complaining about it too. So just finally, you left Cardiff a couple of years ago. More family time now, but still in hockey, playing with Telford. Obviously, pretty much a clean sweep for you guys last year. And also off the ice now, starting to develop a new career, ready for family life and life outside of hockey.
Yeah, well, we can't play forever. I'm 35. In terms of an athlete, as a dinosaur age. So I know it's about to come to an end. I'm still loving it, still enjoying it. I feel great. I feel 17. But in reality, underneath, you just sometimes can't keep up with these young guys. And it's just, I'm not saying I'll be done next year. Potentially I'll play again next year. But I got to start setting up myself for that next step. And I got it a little bit of an insurance thing. Enjoying currently, it's doing better. So actually is one of the things that I actually enjoy doing now because it's something to do with helping people protect their lives, and still enjoying playing hockey. So we'll see what sort of comes out of it, and potentially that could be my next step.
And enjoying being back in this building, seeing the fans and watching the Devils play tonight?
Well, I had to make sure that I come down today because I think that's going to be my last time in this building, which is kind of emotional because literally I was here from the day one, and now I'm going to watch this building sort of get taken apart and taken away somewhere, but equally as excited to go next door whenever they get the keys and check it out. Hopefully be there for the opening night, but I'm not sure.
Well, Max, as someone who watched you all the years in this building, it really was a pleasure and a privilege to watch you. You were a very skilled hockey player, so when you make your way back to the seats tonight, I'm sure you're going to take a lot of handshakes. You deserve them because you are a hero in this building. Thank you for joining us on Ice Time TV this evening.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
We're going to go to some replays before the start of the second period, and we'll let you enjoy those. And then Gareth Hewish and myself will be back to call second period action.